All right, so we're going to get started with our hips slightly elevated on a block. Um, you do have the option, especially if you don't have a block, you could put your hips on a ball. Um, that's going to challenge you to engage those core stabilizing muscles. So it may not be as relaxing if you use the ball than if you use the block. I'm going to demonstrate with the block. And you'll start off, maybe you have something, a little comfy for your head. And the block is going to go right on the tailbone. So not the lower back, not the arch, but on the tailbone. Your knees will be lined up with your hips and your ankles right underneath your knees. And I'm demonstrating it on the lowest level. If this doesn't feel like enough lift, you could raise it up one, but that's going to give you a narrower surface. So you want to choose the option that's going to allow you to really relax and receive this sort of shift in, you're kind of turning things upside down. And in this position, it helps to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest, digest, restore. So just take a couple of moments, notice how the body feels in this incline, this inversion. And then let one hand rest on the lower belly and one on the ribs. I'm going to start with a belly breath. As you breathe in through the nose, feel the belly rise. And then exhale, the belly collapses, the navel draws back towards the spine. And repeat this on your own. As you breathe in, let that breath stretch the muscles. So you're stretching the intercostal muscles, you're stretching the belly muscles with your breath. And then as you exhale, the breath is released. And maybe there's a little bit of extra sort of drawing the belly button towards your spine. So we're warming up this area before we go into the diaphragm breathing. Now you're going to add on, when you breathe into the belly, let the breath come a little bit higher into the rib cage. And then exhale, rib cage, then belly. Breathe in belly, rib cage, exhale, rib cage, belly. Breathe in belly, rib cage, exhale, rib cage, belly. Adding on, breathe in belly, rib cage, exhale, rib cage, belly. Hold the breath in. And now imagine that you're filling the ribs with your breath. So the belly stays soft and the breath is still out. So we're inviting, and if you need to release your breath, I know I'm talking a lot, just feel free to release your breath. And the diaphragm is flying up under the ribs. Now, next breath in, the diaphragm drops down into the belly. The ribs expand. You exhale, ribs and belly. Hold the breath out. Imagine the ribs expanding, stretching apart. And then when you need to take the breath in, belly, ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inflate the ribs. And then you may feel a little uncomfortable. Just go to your comfort level and then allow the breath to come in when you need be. And repeat that a couple more times, following or allowing a pace that feels good. And if you've just gotten over an illness, you may find that your breath capacity is a little bit less than usual. And again, you want to really balance the amount of effort you put in so you're not distracting the resources of the body from the healing journey. And just one more round of this. And then when you're ready, you can slide the block out from underneath you. Keep the hips up for just a moment. Arms are on the ground. Now imagine you're drawing your heels towards your hips. Feel the backs of the legs, those hamstrings engage. And then slowly lower down. Let's come into that pelvic tilt. As you inhale, the hips roll forward. As you exhale, the hips roll back. And just do this a couple more times. This is a nice way to warm up the hips, warm up the lower back. And also just notice if one side moves differently than the other. It may be subtle, and it's quite common for that to happen. And then find a, excuse me, find a neutral spine. Arms are along the sides. And we'll come into a flowing bridge. Press into the feet, let the hips rise, maybe add the arms. On your exhale, lower down. And just do this in rhythm with your breath. Adding on, next time the hips are lifted, pause here, hold the breath out, see if you can expand the ribs. Keep the breath out as you lower down. Repeat that. Inhale, you rise up, hold the breath out, expand the ribs, lower down. When you need that inhale, press into the hips and rise up. So this can be a little tricky coordinating the breath with the movement. And again, this will come. You know, I was just reading, you're just doing this on your own, and I'm just going to chit chat a little bit. I was just reading, it was a study from, I think it was UPenn, about exercise and brain health. And one of the things they mentioned is when you're doing sort of coordinated actions, this in particular, I think it was the hypothalamus. I'll look it up and I'll send the information to you when I send the video. But it outlined the benefits of aerobic exercise, resistance exercises, and then these coordination exercises on the brain. Next time your hips are down, just pause here. Just draw the right leg in, give it a little hug, and then begin to stretch it up towards the ceiling and then bend it. This little hamstring stretch here. You're welcome to extend that left leg long onto the ground if that feels okay. Next time the leg's straight, pause here. Press the back of the leg into the hands. Press the hands into the leg. Breathe into the belly. Exhale, hold the breath out. Think about spreading the rib cage apart. And then when you feel the need to inhale, you inhale. So practice that a couple more times. Bend that right knee and just hug it side to side. Couple of rounds. Extend that right leg long, nice full body stretch. Walk the legs over towards the left corner of your mat, and then stretch the arms to the upper left corner of your mat. So creating a nice side body stretch. As you breathe in, see if you can fill out and expand the rib cage. As you exhale, hold the breath out. See if you can stretch the ribs apart. And when you feel the need for the next breath, allow it to come into the belly, then the ribs. You release the breath. Expand the ribs. Allow the breath when you feel the desire. Now let's come back through center. Draw the left knee in. Maybe you bend the right knee and let the foot come on the ground to begin warming up. So just notice the difference when you do this leg extension, when you have the right knee bent. And then if you like, extend the leg longer, letting it rest on the ground. And just notice how that sort of affects your ability to stretch that left. Next time that left leg is straight, pause here. Press the back of the leg into the hands into the leg. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, ribs, belly. Hold the breath out. Stretch the ribs apart. When you feel the need for a breath, allow it to come into the belly, then the ribs. Then you exhale, hold the breath out. Allow the ribs to expand. And just do one more of these on your own pace. Nice. And then hug the left knee in. Just give it some gentle rocking side to side. Just gentle little massage. Extend the left leg long, arms extend overhead. Walk the legs to the lower right corner of your mat, and then stretch the upper body towards the upper right corner of the mat. And creating that banana shape in the body. Breathe into the rib cage. Feel the ribs expand. You're stretching those intercostal muscles, which are key for breathing. And then let's add that breath. You breathe into the belly and the ribs. You release the breath, hold the breath out. And then just imagine you can stretch the ribs apart. When the desire for breath comes, allow the breath in. And just do 2 more of those at your own pace. You've done 3, come back to the center. Draw the knees in and let's make some circles. Massage out that lower back. And then just also getting the joints warmed up. In reverse direction when you're ready. And to get ready for our warriors, pause and then take the knees in opposite direction. Nice warm up for the hip joint. You're also coming into that pelvic tilt. As the knees go away, feel your lower back arch. As the knees come towards you, you feel it flatten. Reverse direction. Pause with the knees together. Let your arms come out to the sides, palms down. And extend your feet. Your shins are 90 degrees from your thighs, and your knees are right over the hips. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, lower the knees towards the left. Now they're not going to touch. We're working our core here. Keep the knees stacked on top of each other. And then press up through center. Exhale towards the left. And then press up back through center. Just do 2 more on each side. So we're activating the obliques along the side of the body and getting us ready for our warriors. It may be tempting to let the knees come all the way to the ground and just enjoy a stretch. And if that's what your body's telling you to do, you're the boss of you. And then come back out to the center. So let's come up to seated and then to table. You're on hands and knees. And if you've still got your socks on, this would be a good time to take them off, because we'll be getting to standing pretty soon. While in table, a few rounds of cat and cow, rounding and arching the spine. A little bit of core work here. And this is good for the lower back. Come onto your forearms. So this is called an 8-pointed plank. So there'll be 8 points of your body in contact with the floor. You have your forearms and your hands, your knees, and turn your toes under. And here we breathe. Draw the hip points towards each other. And just hold for a couple more breaths. So we've talked about the plank pose and some sort of preparatory poses to build up the strength. And this is a really nice one. Pressing into the hands, the forearms, the knees, and maybe the tops of the feet or the toes can be turned under. And just another breath here. And then walk the hands back so you're in your regular standard table. Toes are turned under. And then on your inhale, float the knees up just a few inches. Press the hips back. Again, imagine the hip points are towards each other. And then lengthen out the legs. So you're in a downward dog. And you take this time. This is a great pose for stretching the calf muscles and the hamstrings. And when we did some of the rolling on the calves, we talked about the connection between the calves and the knees. Everything's connected. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Knees a nice generous bend. Let the forearms rest on the thighs. Allow the lower back to relax. And then hands come on the hips and inhale, you rise up. Pause in your upright position and feel the back of the heels rooted. Feel them grounded. And imagine the breath traveling up the front of the body. So it's lifting and stretching. It's lifting the collarbones. It's lifting the corners of your eyes. It floats across the crown of your head. And then it draws the shoulders down the back of the body. It draws the tailbone down. And then your next breath in, arms reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Bend the knees, sit in your imaginary chair. Maybe the arms reach forward. Now, can you try that diaphragmatic breath here? I don't know if it's possible. See if you can breathe into the belly. Exhale, hold the breath out, spread the ribs. And on your inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the arms down. Roll out the shoulders here. Now, when you're rolling the shoulders, have your attention on the back of the shoulders and just visualize those shoulder blades drawing down the back of the body. And then bring that movement to a close. Inhale, reach up again. Nice, gentle back bend. Lifting the front of the body, relaxing the back of the body. Lightness in the front of the body, grounding in the back. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Next inhale, sink the hips down, come into your chair pose, and then you decide if you want to take the arms up. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Flip the left palm up to the ceiling. Grab the wrist, stretch to the right. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Stretch the ribs apart. Breathe into the belly. Exhale, come back up to center. Breathe in. Exhale to the left. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Inflate the ribs. Inhale. Exhale, rise back up. Release the arms down. Roll out the shoulders. Again, rolling out, feeling, inviting the shoulder blades to draw down the back of your body. Now make our way to the front of your space. And if you had a blanket there, you can remove it. Have your two blocks waiting for you at the front of your space. And let me just check the time here. All right, we'll do some warrior one sequencing with back opening. Inhale, open up, gentle back bend. Exhale, you fold half. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Step the left leg back, grab one of your blocks. So you could have it this way or the narrow way, just depending on how your shoulders are. Press the hands into the block. feel the muscles hug the bones. And then inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, bend the elbows. Slide the corner of the block right at the base of the skull. Keep that right knee bent. Now, doing this makes it harder to balance because you've added a back bend. So you can counter that by pressing a little bit more intentionally into that front big toe mount. And then inhale, arms reach up. Keep pressing the hands into the block. On your exhale, step forward and release. Nice. Lower the block down. We'll do the other side. Inhale, reach up, stretch, gentle back. On your exhale, fold half. Press into the legs, nice longs. On your exhale, the right leg steps back. You grab your block. You rise up. Inhale, arms reach up. You bend the elbows. Slide the corner of the block at the base of the skull. Be intentional about pressing into that left big toe mount. Arms rise up. Keep pressing the hands into the block. And then exhale, step forward. All right, Jane, good to see you. Good luck. Keep in touch. All right, so we'll continue with our flows, our warrior one flows. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. On your exhale, step back to warrior one. So let's flow in and out here. Straighten the leg, lower the arms, bend the knee, reach the arms 2 times. 2 more times. Go a little further. All right, next time the arms are up, pause here. Now a nice upper back stretch. We'll come into eagle arms. If eagle arms doesn't feel good, then you just put the fingertips on the shoulders. But for eagle arms, you'll take the right arm underneath the left while you're in warrior one. Now, staying here, or if the lower back is up for this, you're going to dive down to the inside of that right leg. Press into the feet. Let that rebound you up 2 more times. Pause after 3. Okay, now the option here, you can just step the back foot forward, or you can shift the weight to the front foot, lift the left leg up. You can stay here, or bend the standing leg, wrap the left foot around for movements. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Hold the exhale, inflate the ribs. And then inhale, release. Sweep up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs. Step the right leg back. Warrior one. Flow in and out 3 times. Pause after the 3rd round. Left arm comes underneath the right. Again, you can take your hands, rest them on the shoulders, or maybe they clasp. They don't have to clasp all the way. You have the back of the hands. Engage the core. dive to the inside of that left leg, and then rise up 3 times. Again, make sure that this doesn't feel uncomfortable on the lower back. You could try just engaging the core a little bit more, but if that doesn't work, then I would skip it because you don't want to be straining. After 3 times, pause here. Then you come to the front. You shift the weight to the front foot. Now, maybe you lower the right foot next to it, or maybe you hover it into that stork pose. Maybe you wrap it around in an eagle pose. Wherever you are, deep breath into the belly, then the ribs. Exhale, hold it, spread the ribs. And then inhale, release. Nice, gentle back. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back, warrior 1 again. Flip the left palm up to the ceiling, grab the wrist, stretch to the right. So similar to what we did when we had both legs next to each other. We've got this arch. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out and inflate the ribs apart. On your inhale, come back to the center. Separate the arms. Step forward. Take a deep breath. Nice, gentle back bend. Exhale, halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back. Right leg steps back. Warrior 1. Grab the right wrist, stretch to the left. Notice if this side feels different. A nice stretch for the liver. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Stretch the ribs apart. On your inhale, come back to center. Step forward, release. All right, I want to just check in. How's everybody doing? All right, this is probably a little bit more movement than we usually do. Is everyone all right with it? You want to continue moving? All right. All right, let's do some warrior 2s. Inhale, reach up, stretch, gentle back. On your exhale, hold half. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Step the left leg back for warrior 2. Get a little bit longer of a stance. See if you can open your hips towards the long end of the mat while keeping that front knee towards the short end. Inhale the arms, reach up, stretch, and then open. Flip the palms up to the ceiling, and then you straighten and reach, bend and lower 3 times. Invite that stretch into the inner thigh. Maybe you have a little bit more weight on the pinky side of the front foot. And then you pause. Flip the right palm, stretch up and back. Reverse warrior. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Release the breath. Hold the breath out. Can you stretch the ribs apart? Inhale back through warrior 2. Exhale the hands to the front of the mat. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back. You're in warrior two. So get your roots settled here first. Shoulders over the hips. Then the arms. Reach up. Now feel the shoulder blades lie down the back of your body. Flip the palms up, and then you straighten and lower. 2 more times. And maybe a little bit more weight on the pinky side of the front foot to keep that knee tracking in the right direction. And then you pause. Flip the left palm up, reach up and back, keeping that left knee bent. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Stretch the ribs apart. Inhale back through warrior two. Windmill the hands to the front of the mat. Step the back foot up to meet the front. And inhale, you rise. So add a variation. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. On your exhale, left leg steps back, come right into your warrior two. Let's go in and out 3 times. You can just be nice in the cold weather to do a nice little joint warm up here. Now reach the arms up as you straighten the front leg. Pause. So just notice, and you probably don't have a mirror, I don't know if you can see yourself in your camera, the distance of the arms away from the ears. You want to keep this. Press the left hip towards the left as you arch to the right, but keep the arms just as they are. And just go as far as you feel safe. This is a lot on the torso. It can be a lot on the lower back. So just stretch. It's a lot of core stabilizing. Inhale back up. Exhale, pause. Inhale, take another breath. Exhale to the back. Keep the arms framing the head. So it's that same sort of arch. Make sure there's no sort of pinching here. If so, lift up more through that back side body. Then inhale back to center. Exhale into your warrior two. Let's just flush it out with 3 in and outs of warrior two. So pause after the third one. Windmill the hands to the front. This is where it's handy to have the box. The back leg lifts. Pause here, level off the hips. The left leg is going to come to the right of the right foot. So the pinkies are, maybe not next to each other, but they're side by side. Notice if you're hyperextending the back knee, soften it a little bit. Take a couple more breaths and then walk the hands over towards the right. You're looking for a nice stretch on the outside, that right leg. And sometimes it's hard to sort of remember which is right and which is left when you're all twisted here. Exhale, come back to center. And release that left leg to be to the left of the right foot. And then inhale, rise, gentle back. Just notice the 2 sides of the body. Exhale, release the arms down. Take that on the other side. Inhale, reach out, gentle back bend. On your exhale, warrior two. Let's come in and out as 3 times. This is a nice opportunity to just sort of either do a simple little meditation or just enjoy the flow. Pause. Arms rise up, the legs straight. check out where the arms are in relation to each side of your ears. And then you're gonna arch towards the left. And it can be really different, the two sides of the body. Now you can imagine you're stretching the legs apart, then hugging the legs in. Inhale back to center. Exhale, arch towards the right, towards the back of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two, and flow in and out. Nice little rinse. After the third one, pause in your warrior two. Windmill the hands to the front of the mat. The back leg lifts. Level off the hips. Now that right leg comes to the left of the left foot. Notice that back knee. There's a tendency for it to lock, for it to be hyperextended. If you feel a lot of stretch behind the knee, just intentionally put a little bend in it. And then walk the hands towards the right. Oh, sorry, towards the left. Exhale, come back to center. Cross the legs. Rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, release the arms down. Awesome. So I want to check in. How's everybody doing?
That was a good stretch.
All right. Another flow or to the floor? Give me an up if you want flow. Give me a down if you want floor. Cindy, I can't see your thumb. Okay. All right. All right. Looks like we're going down. All right. So let's flow down. Inhale, reach up, stretch, gentle back. On your exhale, pull back. Press into the legs, nice long spine. And then keep pressing into the hands. Let them slide down your shins. And coming into sort of a ragdoll type position. Now, this is one of the few poses where you invite the shoulders up towards the ears. And then let your upper body just sway like a piece of seaweed. Invite traction in the neck. Just visualize the space in the vertebrae increasing in the neck. Letting gravity be your little cervical extension. And then deeply bend the knees. And let's come into table. Drop down onto your forearms, walk the knees back. So you're in that 8-planed plank. Now, if you like, you can get rid of those, one of the points, the point being your knee, by curling the toes and lifting the knees up. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Separate the ribs. Lower down. Sphinx pose. Now, you can stay in this, sort of standard Sphinx pose. A little closer. If you have one of the balls and you want to put that under your chest, that's more of a supported Sphinx pose. It's going to take some of the effort out of it. So just depending on, how you're feeling today, you could use that as a little boost. You can also do that with a rolled up blanket or a booster. You'll notice that here, if you look at the arch of my spine, it's a lot less than when I'm up here. So if it feels like it's pinching or the arch is just not therapeutic for you, then putting something underneath the sternum is a nice option. Just take a couple of breaths here. Now breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. And just receive the breath when you need it. Just 2 more times like that. Breathe into the belly, the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. And receive the breath. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. Receive. Go all the way down, letting the forehead rest on the hands. And slide that right leg into a half frog. The knee comes up somewhere around the hip height, just depending on so many things. The anatomy of the bones, the length of the ligaments, the flexibility of the muscles. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs. 2 more times. Return to natural breath for a round of 3. Maybe you come up into a Sphinx pose here. Just notice how that feels. If it's too much effort, if you feel yourself, collapsing or compromising any part of the body, then you just drop right on down. Transition back to center, slide that right leg in. Dropping down and sliding the other leg up to hip height. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out. Spread the ribs apart. 2 more times. You've done a round of 3. Just return to your natural breath. Maybe transitioning up to Sphinx pose. Release the right, release both legs long. And then bend both knees and let the legs flow side to side. This can be a nice massage on the quads. Nice release for the lower back. Release that, let the legs extend along. And let the arms come along your sides. So part of our mission is lower back. And one of the things we can do for the lower back is strengthen it. But we want to be mindful that there's no pinching or uncomfortable sensations in the lower back. One of the things that you can do is engage the core. So here, belly down, draw your belly button back to your spine. You might feel it move away from the floor. And then imagine that drawstring. We've talked about that lying on our backs. There's a drawstring between your hip points. And that's getting tighter. It's drawing them towards each other. That's the transverse abdominal muscle engaged. So engage the core. Press into the left foot. And then let the right leg feel light. And just let it rise up just a tiny bit. So you don't want to feel it in the lower back yet. Not even feeling it in the glutes. Just feeling it in the back of the leg. Strengthening the hamstrings. Now press a little bit more into the left side, into the hip, into the left hip bone, into the left thigh, into the left top of the foot, and then let the right leg come a little higher. So now you do feel the glute engaged. Now that right leg, press it away from you. Get that knee straight, straighter than straight. Press into the left leg a little bit more, and now that right leg can lift. Keep the knee straight. Maybe you feel it in the lower back a little bit, but it feels like it's strengthening it, it's working it, it's not pinching it. And then lower the right leg down. And just notice the two sides of the body. Press into the right leg. So you're pressing into the right hip bone, the right quad, the right knee, the right top of the foot. And then let the left leg be light. Let it float up. If you feel your glute engage, lower it down. We just want to feel the back of the thigh, maybe the calf muscle engage. Straighten through the knee. Press into the right leg a little bit more. Lift that right leg up. Re-straighten the knee. Sorry, the left leg up. Now you feel your glute activate. Press into the right. Let the left leg lift. Stretch away from you. Kick that left leg away. Have the knee straight. And then you lower down. Hands come under the shoulder. Press yourself up through table. Stretch back to your child's pose. If this bothers the knee, put a rolled up blanket or a bolster between the thighs and the calves. Walk the hands to the left. A lot of stretching, a lot of work on the side body here. Walk back through center and then over to the right. Back to center. Roll up through table. Cat and cows. You can curl the toes under and take a downward dog before we transition to our backs. Those for downward dogs, probably. And when you're ready, just drop the knees down. We'll come onto our backs and you can put any layers back on, your socks on, do a couple of stretches, but our body temperature will probably drop. So adding the layers can keep the chill out, especially this time of the year. This is also a really good time to have a blanket. And when we get to final Shavasana, I'll just put a reminder in the email about that too for next week if you don't already have one set up. And we'll come on the back. Have your strap within reach. Just come onto the back, knees bent. Take a couple of breaths. And draw that right knee in and take your tie and place it just in front of the heel. Extend the leg up. Notice what happens to the pelvis here. Are your hips rolling forward? Are you flattened? You want to find the place in the middle. Extend that left leg long. Ties in the left hand. Let that right leg go off to the left. Breathe into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath out and broaden the ribs. Inhale at your own pace and repeat.
We're gonna have to come out here and repeat this on. I got a phone call.
Inhale back to the center. Remove your tie. Hug the knee. Let's just give it a little rock side to side. And in this gentle rocking, allow it to massage out that back glute. Release the hip joints. And then you can take that knee across the body again. And this is where it can be nice to either have a block or the balls handy to rest the knee on. And you're welcome to do that diaphragmatic breath, breathing into the belly and ribs. And exhale, holding the exhale. You're also welcome to just breathe and relax and let the mind just enjoy the sensations. Enjoy not having any obligations. In your next inhale, come back to center. You hug the knee in. Extend the leg, extend the arms. Nice full body stretch here. And then bend both knees and draw the left leg in. Use your tie. Place it just in front of the heel. Extend the leg up. And you're welcome to extend the right leg. Tying the right hand and that left leg come across the body. A good place to have a block or those inflatable balls can come in handy here too. The breath come into the belly and the ribs. Exhale, hold the breath. Spread the ribs. Again, follow at your own pace. Go back to center. And remove the tie, hug the knee against this gentle rocking. Knee comes across the body. And choose the breath. We hope to transition into Shavasana. Ready? Inhale back to center. A little hug. Extend the leg long. And just notice if there's any final poses that you'd like to take, or maybe you want to spend a little bit more time in Shavasana. Be a little longer and a little deeper. Noticing the sensations that those longer, deeper breaths bring. Invite gentle movements when you're ready. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes to start. Slowly allowing those movements to transition into wrists and ankles. Slowly transition to your side. Enjoy a pause. Take a moment to just acknowledge all your body does for you throughout the day. Coming up to seated when you're ready. I'd like to join in a chant of Om. Take a deep breath. Om. Okay. Thank you guys.